What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be making my imperial pumpkin ale, and I've got my strike water out there at 170. This thing's going to be humongous. I've got like 30 pounds of American 2-row, 4 pounds of toasted malt, which is the victory malt, and a pound and a half of Crystal 80, American Crystal 80. And here are the adjuncts that I'm going to be adding to this particular beer. So we got about 6 pounds of organic pumpkin that was baked for 45 minutes. And then stirred around. I added some honey on top of it. I can't say exactly how much I put inside there as far as the honey, just a little honey, and then mixed it through, and then I let it bake for another 45 minutes. I also did 2 graham cracker crusts, pie crusts. I put them in there for about 20-30 minutes until they were good and golden, crusty flavor. That hopefully that gets imparted well into the beer. This is the first time I'm making this particular beer. And I got some allspice, some cloves, some ginger, some cinnamon sticks, some brown sugar, and I have some vanilla concentrate that I had purchased. So let's go ahead and dough in and we'll go from there. Alright guys, so I've got my strike water inside here. I've got it filled up pretty high. I'm probably going to need about 9 gallons of water. And here's my mash tun. Real quick, I just want to show you my false bottom that's inside there. Basically, there's a hole underneath the false bottom of this mash tun. That false bottom is just bolted in place underneath. You see, it's just bolted, and there's the hole out of the bottom of the mash tun. And I had welded that, but the false bottom, I just bolted that on. So let me go ahead and add this strike water, and then we'll dough in. Basically, I hooked up an electrical cord to the back for my March pump, and it goes into this box so that I could turn on my pump just kind of with the kick of my foot. So it makes it pretty convenient. Makes it a lot easier than having to. That's the whole reason why I wanted to make this, guys, because I know how hard it is trying to pick up whatever, 10 gallons of water, 15 gallons of water, try to pour it into your kettle or into your mash tun. So this is nice because all I gotta do is flick my switch and my water's coming in. And I got my gauges on there. I was sitting about 173. I'm hoping to get my mash somewhere around 148, 150 something. I'm gonna try to get it to settle around 148. And when I get my water up to about 9 gallons, then I'll come on back. Alright guys, like I was saying, I got like 35 pounds in here, so it's a little bit too much for me to want to try to pour in there all at one time. So I'm going to go ahead and dough this thing in kind of on the slower side. And then I'm going to start adding in some of that pumpkin. I'm going to put in one of the pie crusts. I'm going to put in one of the pie crusts into the mash tun, and then I think I'm going to use my paint strainer bag and put in another part of the, I'm going to put in like, let's see here, probably about 4 pounds of the pumpkin into the mash tun, and one of the pie crust into the mash tun, and then I'm going to put the rest of the pumpkin and the other pie crust into my boil kettle. When I get all of this transferred, I'll come on back. What's up, guys? So I've got majority of my grain in there. This is the last bit of it right here. It's official. That's how much grain I could hold inside my mash tun. Holy cow. I knew it was going to be close, but I wasn't sure how close. But like I said, I've got about 35 and a half pounds and 9 gallons of water. I still had some room left on top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix the rest of this in. There's a good amount of water still left on the bottom. Try to get this all good and absorbed. Hit my strike temperature pretty darn close. I'm sitting right at 150.2, so my math was right. And what I'm going to do after this, I'm going to go ahead and throw my pumpkin inside there. I guess it wouldn't be a bad idea to go ahead and do that right now. Trevor, you want to help me? Come here. Alright. Yeah, so we're going to have little Trevor here help us make this pumpkin beer. So Trevor, what I need you to do, first thing we're going to do is dump that inside there. Dump it all in there. Good job. That's the 1 pie crust. And then we're going to give you the spatula, and we're going to start scooping in some of that pumpkin while I mix this around. So scoop the pumpkin. Yep. Bloop. We're going to put the pumpkin inside there, just like that. Whoop. Put that pumpkin in there. Alright, so while you're getting more pumpkin, I'm going to keep stirring, okay?
Alright.
So we're just going to get this thing mixed in real good. You know what? While we're doing this, one thing we could do is start to recirculate our water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the valve to my hot liquor tank. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the valve to the bottom of my mass tun. Then what I'm going to do is open up the valve to the mash tun. So right now, all it's going to be doing is going from the bottom of the mash tun up and then back into the mash tun. And it's just going to recirculate the water. So we're going to kick on the switch. We're getting pumpkin colored water, so that's good. So now all we're going to do is just stir this up, try to get out all our dough balls, and then once our temperature gets pretty close, we're gonna let this thing sit for about an hour or so, maybe even a little longer. Alright, so we're going to catch up with you guys later. Thanks. Alright guys, so I just now added about my other 2 pounds of pumpkin and my other pie crust, and I also added 2 ounces of Magnum. It's a clean bittering hop, you guys, and the alpha acids in that one it ranges from like 12 to 15. The ounces that I had, the 2 ounces that I had, one of the ounces was at 12, the other one was 14, because they're from different years. I had the other set in the freezer for a while, so just getting to the boil right now. I just threw all those adjuncts and the hops in there just now, and let this thing go for about an hour or so, and then I'm gonna cool it down. Alright guys, so I finished my beer, the pumpkin ale, and I collected about 10 gallons of wort, and right now they're kind of cooling down inside of my fridge because my heat exchanger didn't get it all the way down to pitching temperature. So I don't know if you guys can read that because I know the video quality is pretty sucky, but I'm looking at right at about 1094 for my gravity. Like I said, I got about 10 gallons, and I end up making a large 2 milliliter starter with 2 Y yeast packets of 1056 American ale yeast. So I'm looking at probably getting about 400 billion yeast cells or so to pitch into these large beers. So that's going to conclude the session, and hopefully here in a little while I'll be able to make a review video and show you how this thing turned out. If you guys like the video, click like. Appreciate it, guys. And if you guys want to leave a comment, please do. Thanks, guys. See ya.